coffee, son. Get in here then. Put the mic down. Put the mic down. Look in these eyes. Look in these eyes.
Hello all you hardcores out there, how are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, 7:15 in the morning, fly home tonight. Can just give a big shout out to Welcome Mistakes. I've got him sat next to me. and Scott and Lee at Spartan, hope you're well. Good news of the day, thanks very much. Well, what can we say, what's been happening lately? First of all, I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing to my channel and sharing it on your WhatsApps, because I've just been looking this morning at the analytics and loads of sharing my videos on WhatsApp more than before, and subscribing, so thank you. Right, American trainers, the American invasion. They seem to be pinching our pay-per-view stars, don't they? Roy Jones, he's working with Joshua. Robert Garcia were working with Joshua, and who's the other one? Sugar Hill works for Tyson Fury, doesn't he? You know, it's Buddy McGirt, Dylan White. You know, what's going on here? Why are British trainers not getting these fighters? I mean, at one point, all everybody said a few years ago, go to Adam Booth, the Dark Lord, and then it was Ben Davies and Shane McGuigan. But I think for Shane McGuigan and Ben Davison, I think the honeymoon period's over, isn't it now? And I think they're going to find out that you can't have it all your own way in boxing. We'll come to them in a bit. But the American invasion, what do you think about it, Gary? You know, these top fighters from the UK, they're getting these American guys in. Where are we going wrong?
No, that's funny you should say that, because I've quite like Shane McGuigan.
Shane McGuigan?
Yeah. You think he's on the slide?
I don't think he's on the slide. I think he's a good trainer. He's young, isn't he? He's well, you'd have to say he's inexperienced outside of something like these Americans, wouldn't you? Buddy McGirt and that. I think he's
doing the business, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does seem to know the business, but if you look at the fight that they've just had with Daniel DeBar, he got dropped 3 times in round 1, and bell rang after 2 minutes 52 seconds. I mean, what's all that about? So they robbed that other guy of 8 seconds, and that's a big difference when you've been dropped 3 times, isn't it? So he looked like he'd been helped along the way. I didn't like the stoppage in the fight. I don't know what instructions were said in the corner, but I think it just shows that Daniel DeBar ain't what they've made him out to be.
No, it's got a good. Is it a glass jaw? Is it a like?
Well, there's something not right in there when that guy's knocking him about.
Yeah, it's getting. Didn't take much, did it? But what about? You talk about Joe Gallagher quite a bit.
Yeah, well, Joe Gallagher doesn't seem to get the rubber
when
ring, does he?
When you say, did he have a fallout with Eddie? Did something happen for Joe?
Yeah, a bit ago. He looked.
He had a lot of stars, didn't he?
Yeah, he obviously he's the most successful trainer that the UK's ever had. But he never gets any Olympians, does he? I think the only one he's had is Joe Murray, a decorated amateur. But I don't think he's had any Olympians, and to say he's our most successful trainer, I'm not saying that because I get on with him.
But he stood the test of time, hasn't he?
He stood the test of time. He's up at 6 in the morning, he's in bed at 12.
Why are they going to America?
Well, I don't know, it's like years ago, if you remember, everybody wanted to play in Italy, didn't they? Ian Rush, Gascoigne and all them sort went abroad, didn't they? Now the Premier League's where it's at. I don't know if it's a phase or a fad people are going through, I'm not sure, but why are they saying these American trainers are the best? I don't know. Enzo Calzaghe had Joe Calzaghe, he was undefeated, and people weren't queuing up to train with Enzo from America, but he had 4 world champions at one point.
I'm got a bigger pot though.
Pardon?
A bigger pot, a bigger number of fighters that's fighting. They're bound to have more champions, aren't they?
Americans?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, my dad always used to say to me that our boys are alright until they come up against the Yankees.
The Americans, yeah. You mean like Hansen going up against Mayweather?
They're drawing for a much bigger ocean of fighters, aren't they? You know, they're bound to have more. What have they got? 400 million population, is it? Or is it
300 odd million, isn't it? 350 million or something, yeah.
Against 60 million. Yeah. They've got to be getting 5-6 times more champions, haven't they?
I just think that our trainers have really need to be given a better chance. I mean, That's just my opinion. I like to keep it in-house. I mean, we've got British fighters here going to getting Americans on board. So I don't agree with it. I think our trainers are as good.
No, I'm big into keeping things in the house.
Terry Chappendama says that, and Julian, that a lot of fighters in UK are not taught to fight in the pocket, you know, like your Mayweathers, James Toney's, people like that. And they don't have much of an inside game. Maybe that might be true, but I don't know. I just think that our trainers over here are good, but maybe they're not. They just need to teach them a little bit different. I don't know.
It just shows you though, you get the fighters, because in that area you're talking about there, where Joe had loads of good ones and Eddie had big success. They had a lot of champions, didn't they?
Yeah, but at one point when they fell out, Joe and Eddie, it looked like Eddie were not giving Joe's fighters the slots, and then.
Is that why they fell out?
I think so, yeah. I think so along the line. I think Joe goes into bat for his fighters, doesn't he? If he feels that they're not getting the right purse, or it's not the right time for that fighter, he'll not fight back. He's not frightened to give an opinion, and I think that him and Eddie maybe clashed, but I think Eddie tried to cut his legs off. Well, I know Eddie tried to cut his legs off, and his fighters were not Paul Smith. Callum Smith left, didn't he? They won't get in him dates. Liam Smith left. There's been others than that, and I just think that.
And were they with Joe?
They were with Joe, weren't they? Yeah. And if you don't want to give them slots, they're going to say, well, is it because of my trainer that I'm not getting these dates? And I think there are a lot of that going off behind the scene, but it looks like Joe's rebuilt and he's at the top of his game again.
What fighters has Joe got coming through now?
Well, he's got Paul Butler fighting the top 5 pounds.
Paul Butler's been real champion before, though, hasn't he?
2 times. He fights this weekend, doesn't he, in Japan against I Know You, who's a monster.
And how old's Paul Butler now?
He must be about 30-ish, Paul Butler.
Is that all he is?
Yeah, he might be 31 or something, but he's he's at his peak, I'd say. He's a massive underdog, but
he's game, isn't he? He's a game fighter.
He's a game fighter. He beat one of Dennis's. He beat one of Dennis's fighters for a world title a few years ago. So good luck to Paul Butler this weekend against I Know You, the monster from Japan. It's a very, very hard fight. If Paul Butler wins that fight, he's a superstar. It's a bigger win than Lloyd Honeyghan against Donald Curry. It's that big. But
sorry, who's Paul's trainer?
Joe Gallagher.
Oh.
So drug tests. Tete's drug test. Where's this B sample? Why has it took so long for it to come out? You have to feel for Jason Cunningham on that. Who he beat. Conor Benn's B sample, we were promised something in 2 weeks. It's now been more than 2 weeks, hasn't it? Still no B sample from both drug test failures. Going back to July, we're now December. It's just one yarn after another that are spinning. Dylan White's one's getting on for nearly 4 years. Where's his B sample? B samples take 48 hours. It's £400 from USADA, UCAD, and the other one, there's another one, isn't there? VADA. It's 400 quid for a 48-hour turnaround. I'm willing to pay it because Gary will give me money for these tests. So we're willing to pay it, Frank, Warren, Eddie Earn. We'll pay the tests. So what's going on here? Why the silence? We can have one promoter shouting about another promoter's fighter, and where's this B sample that Bricktop keeps going on about? Well, where's B sample for Tete? Where is it?
Is that a recent thing?
Yeah, well, it's only come out, hasn't it, about Tete, but they fought months ago against Jason Cunningham. To be fair, I don't think Bricktop's team knew about it. Well, they're saying they didn't. But why is it taking so long? What's good for goose is good for gander. So the silence on it is unbelievable. It's hypocrisy at its worst. And what is the answer? What do you think is the answer, Gary, with drug testing? Do you think one test failure and then you're done until B sample's sorted?
Oh, it's black and white, isn't it? Clean, are you not?
Yeah. Obviously, if you fail a drug test, it's like going for a speed camera. You're guilty till you can prove you're innocent, aren't you?
It's automatic. It's like drink driving, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
automatic ban.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
I can tell you about that twice. Yeah. Okay. But just finishing on drug testing. You know, all these, like Conor Bender's first one, we didn't get to hear about, did we, for months. And the second one, they tried to cover it up, didn't they, and put a decimated Eubank in with a guy on steroids. This is where Eddie's lost a lot of credibility, which is a shame, because he's done a lot of good work, Eddie, in the last 12 years, but he's just done it all chasing money. And that would always be his downfall, I think, really. His greed. You agree with that?
Well, you know me, I like Eddie. So I do. I'm an Eddie. I like him. He's a grafter.
Yeah.
Works all his life, you know, and it's hard when you come from a family, because you're always a silver spoon kid, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, the silver spoon kid turned it gold. That's his reply.
Well, it's not only that. It's like I say to my kids now. You know, I believe they're all silver spoon kids. I was a silver spoon kid, but unless you got something about you can't keep it going.
Yeah.
Your dad can only give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
Unless you can take it and run with it and prove yourself, you'll destroy anything your dad's have done if you're not any good.